This podcast contains an English accent that most of our Irish listeners will find offensive. Also, there may be some colourful language that you're going to find less offensive. Now, over to Ryan and Leon. Enjoy the podcast.
Hello, how can I help?
Hello, I would like to cancel my subscription, please.
Yeah? Okay, and can I ask the reason for your cancellation today?
Yes, I got a free trial because I wanted to check the Sunday Times bestseller list because I had a book coming out, and then very happily got onto the list, but then forgot to cancel it, and then I was reminded because this week a journalist at the Times wrote an article about me, calling me a lanky, toothy square, and sort of said I'd be better placed to be a vicar than a poet. So I thought I'd better not sort of directly fund that if possible.
Yeah, oh gosh, I'm sorry.
Well, that's fine, it wasn't you, but thank you for that.
Oh, that has all been cancelled for you now.
Fantastic, thank you so much.
No worries, thank you very much. Hope you have a lovely day.
And you, thanks, bye.
Oh my god.
Isn't that so brilliant though?
That's the most British thing I've ever fucking heard in my
sorry,
life.
that's okay now.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm sorry there. You know, why is he fucking saying sorry? They're after slating him.
Oh my god. Sorry, that was Harry Baker cancelling his subscription to the Times after a journalist went to one of his gigs and basically slated him. And slated poetry. He's called it pot noodle poetry.
That's like...
And then Donna Ashworth cancelled her subscription as well. I think Jan Brierton did the same.
Solidarity.
You can't mess with
Don't
that.
fuck with the poets.
Can't mess with that.
We'll cancel our subscriptions.
I think it's just too sound a movement to be getting away with being cheeky in fucking columns.
This isn't a gossip column.
No.
It's not like we're slagging people in the early 2000s. You know, it's like... You're and look, I've met Harry Baker. He's one of the nicest people in the world. Like to call him a vicar, like
toothy square.
And sorry, but like we've covered Harry Baker before. Like he was a mathematician. I think he studied maths in college. I think, but he's a phenomenal poet. Like he's a really really good fucking poet.
He's one of the best.
Yeah,
and been doing it for fucking years. So like, I don't, and like he and the Spit events just sold out the Camden Roundhouse, and I was there seeing Ed Sheeran. Like that's the only time I've ever been there. So like this is the levels we're at. So like what's wrong with you?
I feel
and
that
in the article as well, the guy was like, I'm not saying that it isn't good because it's good that people like poetry, but I'm not going to let the greats of Milton go down without a fight. And I'm like, so wait, hold on. So you're assuming that everyone in the crowd doesn't read?
Yeah.
The poets that perform don't read and don't know who Milton is. Like, and also, when was fucking Milton? Like, what is wrong with you?
Yeah, like it's ridiculous. The fact that people were like, that's snobbery and that's elitism because they're thinking, oh well, you know, the ordinary folk are now paying attention to this medium called poetry, but they don't really know poetry like me.
Really know it like we know it.
I wonder how many cobwebs were attached to that journalist as they wrote that article. I wonder how many they're probably sitting in their dusty attic with a quill. With their Paradise Lost volumes shining in all 13 fucking volumes, whatever it is, shining like a beacon of hope for what poetry should be.
Oh, like the fucking wolf. Elbow patches and all. But I think I get what the columnists need to be, especially nowadays where like people don't really buy newspapers. Like you want a columnist to be a bit bold. Like we've featured a column by Brianna Parkins before, who just moved to the Sunday Independent from the Irish Times. And she's a bit cheeky. She can be a bit cheeky, but not directly about anyone. Like she's usually about like concepts and like things that like, oh yeah, no, fuck that, that's shite as well. But this medium, it's just too built on a foundation of goodness and soundness to be getting away with digging it out and being rude. Like even in the column, the guy was like, oh, someone came to me at the interval that I didn't know and asked me if I was having a nice time and said it as like a shit thing.
That's how dare that person
Sorry, I don't know you.
About my feelings. How dare you? I am a private citizen with private emotions. Do you think that maybe that person made themselves, the journalist had to self-check and realise they're having a shit time because they're not, happy with whatever's going on or whatever.
Well.
And that made them have rage towards Harry Baker because Harry Baker's a very nice person that clearly has a very good time when he performs. And they wanted to take Harry Baker down a little peg for being so fucking nice. That lovely, charming bastard.
Yeah.
How dare he get up on that and be so fucking talented. The neck of him. The neck of him. To be up there spreading positivity. Positivity. I'm going back to my dusty attic with my quill. Like, I'm going to use it as like a fucking sword. I'm going to chop him down a few feet. That's what I'm going to do. That pot noodle eating bastard. That's my rant.
Yeah, let's listen to him. Let's just fucking flip it. There's so many we could have picked.
Yeah.
But we're going to share Instructions for My Funeral, which is performed at the Spit events we've mentioned earlier, by Harry Baker, and fucking enjoy it.
Enjoy it. Also, if we're talking about pot noodle, if Harry Baker was a pot noodle, he would be made by a sushi master in Tokyo or possibly Osaka. Handcrafted noodles. That's what he would be.
This is handcrafted ramen stuff.
Handcrafted from a ramen machine. Like handcrafted, woven by hand. That's Harry Baker. Anyway, enjoy this fucking poem.
Instructions upon my death. Ideally, I would like 100 benches, every single one of them facing the sea. If that's too much faff, I'd settle for the one somewhere in Margate, somewhere you can come and sit and think and be. And I don't need a fancy pot to keep my ashes. Just find a decent spot where there's a breeze. So the next time someone gasps at all the wonder in the world, a part of them is breathing in a part of me. And for my funeral, I'd like there to be sunflowers, a truly inconvenient amount. For I too will have spent a lifetime searching for the light, and I don't see a reason why that should stop now. Wear what you want. If it were me, I'd go for trainers or wellies. Something comfortable and colourful to match. For as it was foretold by the prophet Jamie Tart, dress shoes are for muggles and for twats. For the reading, I'd like Erin's poem about final moments. Maybe this poem should be read for context too. And for the music, nothing short of a full-throated sing-along of my favourite song, Dynamite by Teo Cruz. For the food, just keep it veggie. For the drinks, serve up Negronis. If I pretend to like them, you can do the same. And for the wake, if people want to chat, then I am all for that. But just in case, make sure a corner's stacked with games. And don't let anyone apologise for crying. It is honestly my favourite thing to do. Just make sure everybody knows how much I loved being alive. The only thing that I loved more was loving you. Speaking of which, if you are free, then I would love for you to be there. But if you can't, because you're dead, that's not your fault. To be honest, neither of us quite makes sense without the other. I still think we'll die together like a cult. And if anybody says I have gone to a better place, that is a kind and very well-intentioned lie. For there can be no better place than in a room with all my friends. Just promise we'll do this again the other side. Side note, let's also do this loads before we die. And by the time it comes around, maybe I'd hate it. I'll live for ages and these tastes will change with time. But one thing that I know that I will always find amazing is what a thing it is to live a life. P.S. Let's also do this loads before we die.
That was Instructions for My Funeral by Harry Baker.
Like,
that bastard! How dare he? How dare he make funerals funny and full of whimsy and make people laugh? What an arsehole.
Bastard.
We should do. Actually, Joe, listen to that. I want to subscribe to the Times and then unsubscribe in solidarity. That's what I'm going to do.
Yeah,
I'm going to take a subscription. I'm going to cancel it immediately to show signs that I stand with Harry Baker.
Yeah. and send a letter going, I subscribed to the Times.
Yeah.
I was really interested in reading the content. And then
I
saw that.
And I wrote this with a quill in a dusty attic with Milton on a shelf beside me. And I rubbed my hands along the spines of my Milton Paradise Lost books. I rubbed the ribs of the spine of my Milton books, and I felt Milton speak to me. And do you know what? Milton himself said he wanted to come beyond the grave and subscribe to the Times and unsubscribe immediately because he was disgusted. Disgusted.
Oh, speaking of coming back beyond the grave, if only for the mention of Tayo Cruz. Like, please, Tayo Cruz, where are you?
Singing
Where are you, Tayo Cruz? Like, this is bad.
I think Tayo Cruz is going to subscribe to the Times now as well and unsubscribe in solidarity to.
I can't believe he's back on the algorithm.
He's back on he's repopularising Tayo Cruz.
Well, unless it's on the fucking, I don't know, the playlist of Today FM, because they don't play anything that isn't 20 years old. 98 FM's the same.
Yeah.
I'm going to go on a rant now.
You're going on a rant
Like,
with the
every
radio.
time you're fucking in the car and you listen to the radio, every Irish station, they play maybe 3 songs that have been released in the last 4 years, and the rest is 2010s nonsense.
So you want to be a disc jockey? Is that what you're saying?
Maybe I'll be a disc jockey.
Could be a disc jockey. Yeah.
Maybe a DJ.
Would you be a breakfast disc jockey or an afternoon late night with Ryan Duggins?
Late Night Love with Ryan Duggins, maybe. Yeah. Hi.
Only boy bands.
You are so welcome.
We're going to play JLS's back catalogue into Take That's front catalogue.
Yeah.
Well, we thumbed through the Argos catalogue. Finish off with a bit of Westlife.
Lovely.
Like that. Welcome to the
What a
Duggins
2-hour
hour.
session that would be.
Everything in this office is shag carpet. And there's potpourri by the window.
Everywhere.
Yeah, everywhere.
Now this is Christaberg.
So
Well, you working around it. I don't think it's a bit fucking, sometimes they're a bit like risk averse with the tunes they put on. What's your perspective?
it depends, yeah. Like, it depends on the station and depends on what this show is, because there's obviously there's new music shows. There are some that do just the charts. There's some that do, like, if you have like the likes of Nova, which if anybody's in the Dublin, Kildare, Wicklow area, they'll know Nova. But they'll appeal to the demographic of 35 or say 25 to 60, and they'll play like 80s power ballads, and they'll play 90s grunge, and they'll play whatever, you know, all these different. So it depends on the station. A lot of radio at the moment is like the music's almost secondary, which is a bit of a shame.
It's personality driven.
Personality that's getting them.
Yeah,
but like, some people just want to listen to good music. That's why a lot of people listen to Spotify, and they like what they like, and they want someone to be like, here's a song you haven't heard in years, or here's a new song, and show you. And that's what kind of Spotify now, with the algorithm, is kind of taken over a little bit, which is we need more music stations that are about the music and also have personality, but it's not just they don't want talk radio all the time with a sprinkling of songs, you know.
Especially when it's it's talking for talking's sake, and people just like sharing whimsy that isn't that funny or interesting.
Fake whimsy.
Oh God,
you don't want that, where it's just like, oh my God, we're just having such the best time here, you
like,
know?
oh my God, which kind of potato do you like? Oh, I like mashed potato.
That's what
fuck off.
That's what Facebook online quizzes are for. What kind of potato are you?
This is why fucking what was it? Oh, was it BuzzFeed? That's why BuzzFeed isn't popular anymore.
Because people
don't want to do these fucking stupid whimsy questions.
Yeah, I don't want to know what kind of fucking coloured fox I'd be. Do you know?
Yeah, I don't care.
I'll be a fox.
Past it.
Red. I'm sure that's what most foxes are.
Yeah, fuck off.
Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't want to spend 3 hours of my life fucking you just harvesting me data. But the thing, like, again, we're back on the online sphere. You know, when you get it gives you pockets of. Most of my algorithm, as we talked about before, it's mainly just a load of funny memes and reels and loads of shite and cat videos. But I occasionally get flecks of poetry.
Nice.
Occasional flecks of poetry. When I'm taking a time out from Milton, I'm reading online poetry as well. And I found this poem, and it's because we took a break. I was away. Do you remember I was away?
You were in Vienna.
I was in Vienna. Very cultural. Very big buildings, and the amount of wealth in that fucking, especially in that city of Vienna, is completely unimaginable to me. You know, when you walk into a place and you're like, this is disgusting how much wealth is in this room.
Yeah,
And it's like, we are, clearly there are different kinds of people in the world, and I am clearly not one of them. I will never be able to understand.
I haven't accessed this particular group of people.
My brain was not
that signed off on that chandelier.
My brain was not reared to look at fucking crystal chandeliers.
No.
You know, they had the gallery room. We went to the Royal Palace, the gallery room, and like there was portraits everywhere. There was mural. It was like the Sistine Chapel. Right. And they're like, oh, they've got 2 closets on either side that they occasionally play cards in. They have the China room, and it was these priceless fucking Chinese like vases, and they had all these different Oriental style like carpet, and they did like tiles and wood panels,
gifts from emperors and fucking...
that they just fucking play cards in occasionally. What?
Not used.
Not used. Like they'd use it maybe once or twice a month, possibly at a good note. You know, if they were there, sometimes they summered away. Like it was, we went to the Carriage Museum, right? And there's about 100 or less than 100 carriages in the museum. But they were like, oh, we've actually got 400 carriages in our total stock, and we just rotate them because they have like, and there's these like carriages that need to be drawn by 8 horses. Like these huge,
massive
ridiculous
things, yeah.
One's for like coronations, one's for weddings, one's for funerals, one's for fucking Monday, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Thursdays, summer ones, winter ones. They had sleighs, they'd fucking whatever. Like, and I was like, this is just insane.
Jesus.
Do you know? So we took a break because I was off venturing around Vienna, feeling appalled at the amount of wealth. But it's great, spotless, I have to say. If you like history, fucking beautiful. Went to the Natural History Museum, was there for 4 hours. Got to see a brontosaurus skeleton. But anyway, back to the poetry, because I've gone off on a tangent about my Viennese holiday. Yeah. But a poem.
Viennese.
My Viennese holiday.
Your Viennese world.
Viennetta. That's the only thing I know about Vienna. Don't even make fucking Viennetta there. Nice ice cream though. But anyway, back to the poems.
Yeah.
So when I was, before my trip to Vienna, I saw this poem got put up. It was by Alice Murphy. On Instagram's Alice Asks. And Alice is a journalist and a poet and a storyteller. But she put up this post, and you just poets online, and you like and follow, and they follow you or whatever. And she put up this post, and it's the first poem she ever put on Instagram, and it was 6 years ago. So it says, I wrote this 6 years ago, sitting on my sofa in Sydney, stuck in the first COVID lockdown and missing my friends in Dublin. I wrote it for them, but it seemed to mean something to a lot of people, and isn't that what words are all about? Right? So it's kind of like what it is to be Irish, and it's just like she released it just before Paddy's Day. And it's just a nice feel-good kind of poem. So
Good, yeah, look forward to it.
There's a certain type of magic that comes with being Irish. A magic not of leprechauns, rainbows or pots of gold, but of pride and of mischief and a sense of togetherness a little different to anywhere else on earth. It's there in our smiling hello to strangers on the street, in whole families going to funerals of people they've never met. It's known that wherever you are in the world, someone will always be there to share a pint and a chat, while knowing no matter how far you go, the crack is never quite like home. It's hanging in the air when summer appears for a week during the leaving cert each June, when the canals and the beer gardens heave with laughter and roars and topless lads slaughtering gallons of Guinness. It's the bollocking you get from your ma the first time she catches you drinking, and the lifelong friends forged by getting drunk off cheap cider in the park and on the beach and behind the local GAA club. It's grannies lighting candles to cure the world's problems. Pubs packed to the rafters on All Ireland Sunday, and the way the entire country somehow knows each other through some young one's brother's girlfriend's sister's dad. It's girls dressed head to toe in pennies. It's lads slagging each other to show affection. It's trad sessions and lock-ins and just having the one but never knowing when to go home. That's the magic that comes with being Irish. A magic so strong that deep in our veins our blood might run green.
That was an untitled poem by Alice Murphy.
The crack is mighty and the pints are lovely.
Yeah, there's a specialness, isn't there?
Yeah.
And as an Englishman living in Ireland, like I always say, like, you know, it's been a life-changing experience moving to Ireland. And like things that you don't even realise seep into you, the way you see things. Like, I will again, I never think about this, but like she mentioned the grannies lighting the candles. I will go to a church and light a candle. No, like I'll just be in England and go like, "Is there a church bell?" Like I'll just
hang on, you light a candle.
Like, give us a sec. Where are you going? I mean, you never light. You just click the button, don't you? And you pop it up.
They don't trust you with the open flames anymore.
But yeah, and I find it difficult when people. I'm very protective of Ireland as well because, like, you know, it's such a. I'm very proud that I moved, and I love it here. Yeah, and I love it here. And when people are, let's say, a little ungrateful of Ireland, or like don't quite understand what makes it such a great place, I do get quite prickly. I'm like, hang on, like, sorry, there's no fucking crime. Everyone's sound. Opportunities are really good. Everyone's got jobs. It's a lovely buzz. You can walk streets and pretty much. I mean, that's patronising to say when if anyone
there is crime,
but like fucking out like everywhere, but
other places,
comparatively speaking, I mean, like it's really low. Like it's a great fucking place to live.
Yeah, no, it is, and I think like because I spent a lot of my 20s kind of travelling and living in different countries, I came back with a different perspective, kind of like what you have. You came here in your 20s and experience it for the first time, what it's like, and you have an outside perspective. Look, you know, now obviously you're so ingrained in it now, it's probably regular life, but like it took me to go away before I realised how great the country is, and to meet people abroad and go, like, we're some of the friendliest people in the world. You can just go, and like there's so many people I know where I could be with people that are not Irish born or they're from other countries, and they'd be in my company, and I'd be in the supermarket and I could just be talking to someone else, and they'd be like, do you know that person? I know, haven't a clue who they are.
Yeah,
you just start talking.
I'm just talking to them,
just having the crack, like, and you'd be chatting, and they're like, "What? Why are you talking to this random stranger?" I'm like, "But that's what we do." I haven't a clue who the fuck that Elwyn is, but I'll still talk to her because, you know, we just strike up a conversation.
Yeah,
and like I forgot that that's mental to some people that you just talk to randomers.
Yeah, it is crazy. You know, like I was in Keogh's pub on South Ann Street with two of my mates a couple of weeks ago, and two English fellas came in and sat to the table next to me, and like. They tried to spark up a conversation, but because English people don't have that natural glow when they speak to strangers, they're always kind of looking for an angle or an edge. It was quite an uncomfortable back and forth. They were like, "Oh yeah, that's where you're from." I was like, "Oh, I'm actually from Wolverhampton." Like, "Oh fucking hell, you support Wolves?" I was like, "Yeah." It's like, "Fucking hell, you lot of shit."
Oh wow, that's a great way to start the conversation.
Oh, okay, who do you support? Brentford. Oh yeah, they're okay. Grand. Yeah, anyway. Yeah, see that.
Our team's better than yours. Like, what? Like,
actually, it was even worse. Like we were sitting at this table, and there was nowhere to put my coat because we're sitting on stools. So I put a coat on the adjacent chair on an empty table, and these two lads came in and they're like, "Is this coat yours?" And I was like, "Oh yeah." And then my English kicked in. I was like, "Why do you want to sit there?" And then he goes, "Well, yeah, if it's all right with you." I was like, "Yeah, it is, yeah." And I moved the coat and I put it underneath the table. Like it's just this fucking. It's hard to explain the Irishness of like speaking to strangers and the kind of skills that you have naturally by being Irish that just pick up on the wave of chat and crack, and it's definitely more of a. There's just more skills in that world. I think if you're Irish,
we also talk in circles as well, so they probably would have had a roundabout conversation. They wouldn't be like. Is that your coat? I want to sit there. They'd be like, how are you? Yeah, right, yeah. Oh, yeah, we're just looking for somewhere to sit down.
Yeah, perfect.
Oh, well, you know.
Yeah, sorry. Oh, sorry. You can sit here. I'll move my coat.
Yeah. And you apologise. Sorry. No, sorry. No, we don't want to inconvenience you.
Love that.
No, we're sorry. We're sorry. Oh, yeah, no, we'll take up the coat. Oh, yeah, Grant. And where are you from? And then they'd be talking. You know, it's just... But even like when I first came here, we were reading the parish newsletter that you have downstairs and the Irish sayings, and you realise how mental we use the English language as well. Like, they do be always giving out.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Now, to anyone who's not Irish or not familiar with how we actually speak, like they do be always giving out means they're always arguing or always dishing out kind of what would we say? Like they're complaining about something, but like. To us, that sounds like a normal sentence. They'd
be always giving out.
They'd be always giving out. Like, giving out what? Smarties? Fucking what? Like compliments? I don't know. Hell. Giving out grief, I suppose.
Did you say that Alice lived in Australia?
She lived in Sydney at the time.
Did she?
I think she's Irish-based now.
I think it's a nice segue to bring this up, right? What I have in my hand is a book called Darby Love, which is from the Australian writer Darby Hudson. This was given to me and lent to me by Norma Gill, who is someone who is a member of the poetry group that in Lucan, where I live, we meet up every month. And I think I brought the Michael Longley book that we featured last year to the group and was like, oh, I don't really get this. Does someone want it?
Norma's in our collection of poetry.
Norma has.
As Alice.
Yes, they both have.
Alice, yeah.
If you're interested in getting a copy of the Posted Anthology Volume 2...
Sell.
They are still available.
Let them all know.
They're still available.
Only €15. You can get it for $14.99. Sorry, no, I broke your flow there.
No, listen, it's important to start shifting stuff because we don't really.
Do you know what I mean?
Back to this
We're
thing.
going on a Spanish holiday together. We need to fund it.
We do need to fund it.
Give us your money, we'll give you poems. Sorry, go on.
Norman lent me this because I bought this book from Michael Longley called The Slain Birds that we covered last year.
Yes.
And I was like, I'd love for someone else to read this because honestly, I didn't really get it. So she took it and grand, and then the next time I met her, she brought 2 books for me to lend. One is from Andrea Gibson, the late Andrea Gibson, which we'll feature later on, and then this one, Darby Love. I never heard of Darby Hudson before. This book is a collection of things that Darby's mother had said in her lifetime. Oh wow! She's a very dreamy person, and instead of me butchering an introduction to the book, let's hear from Darby himself, from Melbourne, all the way from Melbourne, Australia. Here we go.
We're going down the south.
My name's Darby Hudson. I wrote a book about my mum called Darby Love. It's how she used to introduce me before she died in 2018. I wrote most of it for her funeral. It was never going to be a book. They were just little things that I remembered, that I'd paraphrased, a little collection of things she said, and I handed it out at her funeral, and her friends loved it, and that was that. And a couple of years later, I posted some of them on my Instagram, and they people loved them. And so I thought, I'll remember some more. There was a lot of things she said, and then a few years later I posted these other ones, and then it just went crazy in terms of how many views and responses and things it got. Mum was born in Manchester, UK. Both her parents were Irish, and they're all from Limerick, so she's full Irish-blooded lass. She's kind of whimsical, otherworldly, but also managed to keep her feet on the ground in a lot of ways. She always struggled to sort of keep that balance between two worlds, and she really struggled with dealing with reality, but also, could argue in a court with logic, very quick on her feet. But yeah, thanks.
Thanks, Darby. So I think the best thing to do here, what I did, I read this book and I was making notes of which chapters that I had to read back. So what I'll do, I'll go through a couple of these pages and see what you think. They're just, if you look at this, they're just like kind of
they're
short and sweet ones. So this is a collection of words from Darby's mum, from the book Darby Love. Darby Love, always have a bunch of flowers delivered to the places where unexpected happiness moved through you. That's lovely, isn't it? Darby Love, it's hard to notice what isn't there. Birdless trees, treeless winds. Take the time to notice what's missing, love. Also, do you know where I put my cigarettes? They're just lovely, aren't they? Like these things. Darby Love, it's nice to go for a walk around the block at night, through the darkness, to come home to the small, warm light through your front window, bright as a lighthouse wrapped in a storm. Why do I feel more at home in this world when I'm on the outside looking in? Darby, love. I remember my dream from the previous night when I lay my head on the pillow. So dreams must be stored in pillows. They're just beautiful. Like I imagine the Times journalists from earlier wouldn't like these.
No, it's too nice.
Too nice. Darby, love. I was in a bad mood, so I went for a walk. But the sun was so bright, I scrunched my face. It must have looked like a smile, because everyone was smiling back at me. So I felt a lot better. Just so nice, so lovely. Darby, love, let's go for a walk and talk to every stranger on the street who smiles at us.
Very Irish thing.
Yeah, that's very Irish. Darby, love, if someone asks how you're doing today, look over their shoulder, focus on the farthest point of the horizon, and in a lowered voice answer, incredible. That's a good trick, isn't it? Yeah. I really like that one. Darby, love, somewhere deep down, against all evidence, no one thinks they're actually going to die. That only happens to other people. But in the strangest way, it's kind of true. We never truly die. Darby, love, I was out for a walk, and a senior citizen, older than I am, asked me what day it was, and I said, Tuesday. And moments later, I realised it was a Monday. So as she walked away, I chuckled to myself, thinking I'd accidentally given us both an extra day to live. I have no idea what day it is always my favourite day of the week.
That was Darby Hudson and passages from his mother there from the lovely book Darby, Love.
What? It's and every page is like that.
Some very fucking insightful things in that book.
Yeah.
Did he have? He must have had like a recorder or something to get some of them. Did they?
I think a lot of it is also picked maybe from memory, but also like just kind of reflecting what she might say. It's hard to know these are phone calls or anything, but like, what a wonderful person.
Yeah.
To have that kind of dreaminess.
She sounded like she'd make a great poet. It seems very insightful, some of the things that she was saying. And finding, like, even the one I read there about the magical, useless things. And it's like you're finding the extraordinary in the ordinary. Like, you know, and that's a beautiful thing.
And actually, in the introduction to the book, he talks about, like, his mum being one of those people that didn't need to be known to be extraordinary. We're just a really extraordinary, ordinary person who was just really profound and had a way of seeing the world that was really like dreamlike.
There's a wisdom there as well.
Wisdom, yeah.
Yeah. And I think it's a lovely thing for him to, as you said, you know, you always live forever. That last one you read there. Because in a way she has, because that book has consisted of the essence of her that will then exist forever in those pages, and will be constantly discovered and rediscovered through time. So
yeah, in
a way you do live forever if you're, you know, immortalised by the people that you love. As they say, there's like, is it 3 deaths that you experience? There are 3 deaths. The first is when the body ceases to function. The second is when the body is consigned to the grave. And the third is that moment sometime in the future when your name is spoken for the last time. You know?
Yeah.
And if your name is constantly spoken, then you will live forever. So that's why people need to listen to the Poetry's Dead podcast forever. You'll be immortal.
Yeah. I don't, yeah.
There's actually I read this really interesting book, Afterlife, it's called, by David Eagleman, and he's a neuroscientist, but he wrote, he basically interviewed, there was a lot of people, like there's people who have after death experiences, and he wrote this kind of book and based it off people's after death experiences. but he kind of then turned into like fiction, the kind of short stories of like different accounts. And there's one where it's like there's a waiting room, like like an airport departures, and everybody's waiting for their flight, and you can't get on the flight until your name is spoken for the last time. So people who have finally been forgotten get to go on the flight and get to get the flight off. It's like purgatory. They get the flight.
Wow.
They're getting a flight off to heaven, basically. But there's people like Shakespeare who've been there for hundreds of years and they just want to get on the flight. And they're like, why the fuck are people still reading my work? It's been 400 years. I want to get on the flight. And it's like, imagine being stuck in the airport departures for fucking 400 years.
Shakespeare and Milton all losing their minds.
Yeah. And then your man from the Times fucking talking about Milton again. He can't get on his flight. Let him go. Let him go. I'm unsubscribing to the Times for that. He fucking poor Milton's stuck in the airport.
He's stuck in the fucking airport.
He's like Tom Hanks in the terminal for 400 years.
Good film, that, isn't it?
Do you know your man lived in that terminal in real life?
Yeah.
Like 23 years or something it was.
Fucking mad.
Imagine living in a fucking airport terminal. Nah, you're alright, thanks. The price isn't there. Jesus, you'd be broke.
Yeah.
No.
You'll be broke.
Let's get back to the poetry, Ryan Duggins.
Yeah, let's. Sorry, I was just thinking
You were
there
daydreaming there about airport
I was
terminals.
thinking about like the people in you know the average person's life, and when those like I think about like when I have kids, like they'll hear my granddad's name, but like, they won't know how funny he was because I don't remember the jokes, and I wish I fucking wrote them down because it's fucking great crack. But like the energy of someone in it, like they'll never see.
It's like even so, like my granny, I would have been like my granny basically raised me along with my mum. You know, we lived in my granny's house, but my mum was always working because she was in her early 20s.
Yeah,
and my granny basically raised me. Like, was like the Monday to Friday mum, and then my mum was there on the weekends when she wasn't working.
Yeah,
but my mum got a lovely tattoo only yesterday, and it was she'd found a wedding card from my granny, and it was like, I hope you have a great life together. I hope you have a lovely day. Lots of love, Mum. And she got, hope you have a great day. Lots of love, Mum, in her handwriting, and then like a dandelion. It's really lovely.
That's lovely.
But she showed me the card, and I was like, "Jeez, she'd fucking terrible handwriting." but it's lovely. It's such a lovely tattoo.
At least it's true to it, I guess.
But even like my sister, so there's 14 years of the difference between me and my sister. So like I would have spent 17 years with my grandmother until she passed. But my sister was only 3 when she passed away, so she never really got to. She doesn't remember anything about it. She doesn't get to. And my granny was sick for the last couple of years of her life as well, so she never really got to. She's raised on stories of people, someone that she's never really properly met, you know. And but I've got to know. I got to know all the, you know, the madness that was me nanny, and that's probably why I'm so mental as well. But like, you know,
you got to keep it going.
You got to keep it going.
Got to keep it going.
But there's like a lot of my granny and my sister, even though, because she would have been raised by my mum and she would have been growing up around me and all of the family and all. I think, you know, the essence of the person still lives around by the people that are closest to them, you know, and you kind of get it channeled into the next generation, which is lovely. And it is kind of an immortality that. My nanny used to do mental things, like just the most ridiculous. I'll tell you a story about my nanny, right?
Yeah, go on.
So her and her sister. So the caravan I have, I remember I told you before. Her sister was next door neighbour.
Yeah,
Sheila, and she's 89, and they both had caravans beside each other. I now have my grandmother's caravan. Her sister's still there, 89, Sheila, and they used to do everything together. They're like Thelma and Louise. But there was a time when my Uncle Barry was going away, and my granny had to put money into the bank for him so that he could take it away. He'd gone away already, and she had cash, and she put it in the bank so he could withdraw. And they were going to Raheny Bank in like the 90s, I think it was. So Sheila was driving, and she goes, "I'll drop you down to the bank, Mary. You go into the bank, and I'll drop." So she's a great grand. So she drives to the bank, and she parks there. Sheila's parked. My nanny goes into the thing to put the money in, about £500 or something. There was loads of money back then.
Yeah.
And my nanny's in the bank for about 5 minutes, and all of a sudden this van pulls up outside, and all these lads get out of the van dressed in matching tracksuits.
Oh,
right?
not a great sign.
Right, with automatic weapons, fucking whatever. They run into the bank and they're robbing the bank, right?
Yeah.
Sheila's outside thinking, Jesus, there's a football team gone in.
No,
there's a football team gone into the bank. That's mad. And she's just sitting there, doesn't even realise the bank's being robbed, right? My nanny's in the top of the queue and she has the money in the cash drawer. She's about to, as she's putting the money into the little drawer you do, and then you close the drawer and the teller takes it out. So she has the cash. The lads burst in the door. Everybody get on the ground. They were robbing the bank. So everyone's on the ground, right? Everyone with hands up in the air. And my nanny realises the money is still in the drawer, in the cash drawer. So she's like, in her mind, well, fuck them. They're not taking my son Barry's hard-earned money. So she puts her handbag in front of her head in case they shoot her. Because the handbag naturally will deflect the bullets.
Of course it would.
Because her handbag is probably that thick of shite that she's going to deflect bullets. She puts the handbag up to her head and she slowly puts her hand into the drawer, takes the money out and puts it in her bra. And then the bank's robbed and they all get let go about, say, 15 minutes later.
Yeah.
And they never took the money off her.
Oh,
they never found the money.
That's fucking grey.
That's one story out of like hundreds of stories that the fucking woman would do.
Fucking bold and like,
It's
fuck
just bold.
this.
Like. Or like there was a time when she decided to make wine in the house. She got this fucking pack how to make red wine and you had to leave it to ferment, so she put it in the hot press. So my mum was like, every night you go and you hear and there'd be wine fucking, what's it, not growing, but like, you know, it's like fermenting in the fucking hot press, right? And then she had to take the bottles of wine. She obviously had to bottle it then because it's in this big huge fucking bell jar. Yeah. So how to do it is you have to get a pipe and put it into the bell jar, and then you have to like basically, you know, when people like siphon it, you do, and put it in like that. Yeah. But my mum, she could hear like this kind of noise coming from my nanny's bedroom, right? She's like, what the fuck is this? She goes in. My nanny was obviously, she'd been siphoning and she'd pour it into the bottle. But every time she'd siphon into the bottle, she'd have a little drink.
Yeah.
She'd pour it into the bottle, have a little drink. And she was locked.
Yeah, battered.
Lying on the bed like this, like fucking bottles of wine all over the place. Just like, all right, what's up? She's like, what the fuck are you doing? Bottling the wine. And she was pissed at about 2 o'clock in the day.
Oh my God.
And you understand why I'm so mental. Because this is a woman that raised me.
Fucking raised you.
Do you know what I mean?
Oh, stop. That was brilliant. Fucking hell.
Ridiculous. Ridiculous. But yeah, as I said,
kind of linked to the kind of passage of time and what we're talking about, the other book that Norma had lent me is this book, which is called You Better Be Lightning.
What a great name.
By the late Andrea Gibson. Andrea, I think, had passed last year because I remember a lot of, I have to say I didn't know who she was, but a poet that had touched many a life.
Yeah. And
this collection of poems, I mean, you could have picked any of them really to share, but one that I really loved and stuck with me is a poem called Timepiece. And Leon, I'm going to get you to read this one out, mate. And it's about what we're saying. It's about like the time and the passage of it and what keeps people around, with a little bit of like smattering of like how to live proper as well, which is good. So this is Timepiece by Andrea Gibson.
I'm looking forward to reading it. Timepiece. I've never known who Nick is. I show up just in the stranger of time. Sift every grain of sand from the Pacific coast into an hourglass that fits in my palm. I turn the hourglass upside down and Vancouver trades places with San Diego. When they ask how, I covered the wildfires in snow, I say. I had time on my hands. My grandfather was a clock who stopped before I met him. I've heard he was so kind you could look into his face. And know you'd never been late for anything. My mother is still. A little girl riding on his shoulders, time flies and she reaches up. To pluck feather pens from its wings so I can write this life down, I try. But it doesn't stay down. It keeps flying so fast I count my wrinkles the way I used to count sheep. When the number gets high enough, I'm told I'll fall asleep forever, but I once watched a woman skip her gravestone across a lake like a smooth pebble. Death hops if you let go at the right time. The Buddha says the right time is always now. My father calls me on the phone and before I can say hello asks, do you know what Steve Jobs said the instant before he died? He said, wow. Time is money. But the end of money is well. My friend wakes up at noon, goes to bed at 8, wants less time because she wants less pain. I understand, I've been there too. I can spot a scar beneath a wristwatch from 100 yards away, and no, it is not the weak who try to clock out early, it's people who are desperate to go home. Einstein says time is relative, says the higher you get above sea level, the faster time goes. I live in Colorado. My house is over a mile into the sky. All day I hear the wheels of time burning rubber on the clouds, my life in a getaway car racing toward the border, which is an invisible line. I only call death when I forget how to speak eternity's language. Forget that to run out of time is to run into the truth that none of us have ever been our bodies. If we were, how would we fit in each other's hearts? To make up for lost time, you do not need to know why. Time went missing or what kidnapped it. If its face was on the back of a milk carton every day for 15 years. To make up for lost time, you need only to put down the grudge you were holding so you can pick up the phone and say, how many days did we need each other at the same time without knowing it? Bitterness is the easiest way to leave this world, having had only a near-life experience. My partner and I have had hard days, hard months, but time stops. When you're in love, so I am the same age as I was when we met 5 years ago. She makes time for me with her own hands, builds me a watch from the silver that hasn't yet grown in my hair. Beside her, I have learned that the only real way to waste time, to drag the seconds to the curb, to fill the landfill with minutes, is to let my body be a time capsule. I forget to put my heart in. Don't forget to put your heart in. Regret is a time machine to the past. Worry is a time machine to the future. Gratitude is a time machine to the present. No one books my travel for me. I decide where I want to go. I decide if I will be a sculptor, carving out time the way that Michelangelo carved the statue of David. After 2 other artists gave up on that same block of marble, citing its poor quality, its impossible brittleness. All time is quality time. Don't abandon your chisel, believing it's not. No matter how it looks, you and everyone you know have hourglass figures, each breath a falling grain of sand. To truly live is to see right through the skin to the avalanche. If we never deny the inevitable end of the story, we will write it more beautiful while we're alive.
That was Timepiece by the late Andrea Gibson. Read beautifully by yourself.
Thank you very much. Well, the words were beautiful.
They were, weren't they?
Yeah, they're very good.
A ride.
Yeah.
A bit of a wild ride.
Yeah, powerful poem. Very powerful poem. Like, just, I love, you know, when you hand me a poem, and I don't read these poems most of the time beforehand. You just hand me a fucking poem, and I'm like, I'm going to read it. But then I'm trying to, like, I'm absorbing the poem while I read it, and then I'm like, this is really good, but then I'm like, don't distract yourself with how good this poem is, because I don't want to fuck it up, you know.
There's a line about the grandfather being a clock.
Yeah, and it was so kind you could stare into his face.
Yeah.
Wow, like just the words. You can see why she resonated so much.
I forgot about that line. It's weird that we were talking about grandparents and then we just jumped into that.
Straight away.
I forgot about that line. Regret is a time machine to the past. Worry is a time machine to the future. Gratitude is a time machine to the present.
There's so
really
many
fucking like that
bangers in this. I'm just looking at it again.
Give it, like, I have to say, it's embarrassing that I wasn't aware of her work, but absolutely
like
recommend.
even listen to this, right? Bitterness is the easiest way to leave this world, having had only a near life experience.
Well, there you go.
A near life experience.
Let it fucking go.
Because you're living in the past the whole time. No matter how it looks, you and everyone you know have hourglass figures, each breath a falling grain of sand. Like, what?
Yeah, but so some people have got this in them, do you know what I mean? Andrea Gibson was definitely one of them. Yeah. And thank you again to Norma for lending me those 2 books this week. Really appreciate it.
Beautiful. Really, really beautiful. And yeah, thanks, Norma, because Them books. Those books.
Them's books
Them's
does be
books do
really
be
good,
lethal.
yeah.
It's not like we're doing a fucking poetry podcast. Can barely even speak. Why are people paying me to speak?
They shouldn't be.
They should.
We're on a bit of a jaunt this weekend coming. We're off to my hometown of Wolverhampton, the jewel of the West Midlands.
The jewel, yes, of course.
Because we finally found something happening in Wolves that you're interested in, which is poetry, where we'll be going to see Jan Brierton and Henry Normal,
Yeah.
who are performing at the Arts Centre in Wolverhampton.
Ryan's going to force me to drink warm beer and eat pork pies as well.
Well, here's the thing: you don't like warm beer, you don't like pork pies,
I like
you don't
pork
like
pies.
football, so like there's really nothing else
I
going
do
on in
like
this place.
pork pies. The warm beer now, we just leave it outside in the cold for a bit, let it cool down. I don't like tepid beer, like it's just not, it doesn't seem natural. It reminds me of being
Woody tasty beer.
I wouldn't
actually love it.
They pump it and it's like, here's a cup of warm. I remember when I went to Wetherspoons for the first time and I got, like, I was like, what's the cheapest beer I can buy? And obviously it was a local beer. And I remember them handing me and I was like, hey, what the fuck? This pint is broken. It's not fucking
Hand me a
cold.
broken, frothy,
I was
warm
looking at it going,
pint.
Is this pint stale? Like, I was like, he's been leaving it on the fucking shelf for about 2 hours there instead of going warm.
I pay a lot of money for pints like that.
It's not right.
So we're off.
Anyway.
And we'll share a poem from Henry. Henry Normal is touring with Jan around the UK and Ireland. And this is a bit of crack now. And this is what I like. And actually, I was reading, there was a feature in the Irish Times this weekend about the importance of laughing and having a bit of crack. Jan actually had a kind of a comment on that in the piece. So I think we have to remember that having a giggle is really fucking important. So this is Lament for My Lost Keister by Henry Normal. I can't find my behind. It's undefined. Sternly put, my butt's kaput. My tush, once plush, has turned to mush. My rump, once plump, is just a stump. My ass, alas, has less mass. My inferior posterior lacks surface area. Cheeks on my bottom, I've no longer got 'em. No more a rear beauty, I'm beyond booty. Sans patootie. My arse is sparse, my hiney is tiny. My caboose, once profuse, is now of no use. I'm depleted, cheated, in short, unseated. No one prepared me for this underriered me. A man whose can is down the pan, till kingdom come, bereft of bum. No shoot, looks as minute as my joxy does. Et tu gluteus maximus.
That was Lament for My Keister by Henry Normal.
Good crack.
Bereft of bottom, that got me. That was a line. Yeah.
No one prepared me for the underriered me. See, but it's important to have a giggle, isn't it? Fucking hell.
Don't take yourself so poxy, seriously.
Yeah, Jesus.
Have a chuckle every now and
Have
again.
a bloody giggle.
Have a giggle.
Smile, love, it might never happen.
Yeah, your
No,
face
you can't say that.
Your face isn't going to fucking crack.
So yeah, we'll share the dates that Jan and Henry are touring.
Yeah.
If you are nearby one of the locations, go see him.
Give him a go. Because Jan's poetry as well, she's got really good funny ones as well. And
Yeah, you can tell why they get on.
yeah, quite suited with the poetry.
Yeah, well
Sort of a
suited.
similar vein.
Yes.
But yeah, sure, Henry Normal, he wrote the Royal Family, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Accomplished writer, writing about arses.
Oh yeah, he said arse a lot, didn't he, Jim?
Probably.
My ass.
My
My ass. Look at my ass.
Ah,
Speaking of people with big
accomplished writer
asses,
or accomplished writers, which one?
well, it's the return of the agony aunt.
Oh, the agony aunt strikes back.
Yeah.
Oh, I tell you, we have a conundrum, don't we?
Yeah, we do.
We have a conundrum.
We actually do have a conundrum, and the conundrum is, if not now, when?
Which is a very short and sweet prompt to give to the agony aunt. But luckily, our agony aunt deals with the short and sweet.
Yeah.
And you know, I was strolling down the high street the other day and I came across the local sweet shop. And you know, there amongst the different decorated candies, the Bassett's all sorts, the Starburst mix, the fizzy jellies and the
cola balls
and the red ropes, the ones
the long plasticky red ropes.
Oh, you have to be them. Anyway, there amongst the jars of coloured confectionery was none other than
the agony aunt.
The agony aunt, of course, yes. And I didn't even know she worked in a sweet shop. I never knew. She's
many hats.
And she said, "You know what? I'm just the intern. I just want to learn the tricks of the trade. You know,
Curious soul.
Sweeten the deal a bit more, you know," as she says. So I was asking her, I said, "Look, well, you know, we have a very short and sweet poem." And she said, "Well, luckily I'm working in a short and sweet shop. so I can help you here."
Yes.
So I was like, "Right, grand." So she reached up onto the shelf there, and she pulled one of the jars off the shelf, and behind it was actually a poem that she had already written in preparation. It's like she was fucking psychic. I don't know how she did it. Maybe she had a lot of free time during her internship at the sweet shop. I'm not sure. She must have a poem behind every jar. I don't know. But this poem is called "The Professional Procrastinator." I have an affliction, a terrible addiction. In fact, it's so intense you believe it to be fiction. The origin of my woes that has me deep in the throes of despair, that leaves me howling with my hands in the air, screaming, "It's not bloody fair," is that when I begin, I never finish, like an incomplete poured pint of Guinness. I try to start something, then immediately get distracted, which in fact causes me to lack in ambition. I'm losing hope. That when I'm at the beginning, I just choke, and then I just feel like a dope. But I need to just stop and do the work, even if it takes everything to improve my self-worth. The time is now, because it's been running out for years. But I know I'll get there somehow, for it takes time to face fears. Or maybe I'll just start tomorrow.
That was the agony aunt with the professional procrastinator, who is don't worry about it, it's starting tomorrow anyway.
That's tomorrow. Should fuck it, you know.
Yeah.
We'll enjoy today.
Yeah.
Do it tomorrow.
Give it put your feet up, it's fine.
We'll do it tomorrow. Yeah. But look, anyway, she's gotten better through her internship at the sweet shop, I have to say. You know, good alliteration there.
Yeah, and whoever sent that problem in, hopefully, you don't wait till tomorrow.
No,
don't. Do it fucking now.
Don't be a procrastinator.
Go and do it now.
Yeah. But poetry, I find, is different to that, because when you pick up a story, you can kind of just... It grows legs and it's got characters, and the characters can't take a life of its own, and it kind of
you
runs
have to
away.
live it. You have to live and breathe it. But I guess like it's the thing of like in business, there's a phrase and it says like time kills deals.
Yeah.
And I think actually in poetry it's the same.
Yeah.
And art, it's like time kills it. If you spend too much time thinking about it and sitting on the fence about it, you'll just never get it out there.
Yeah.
I think so. I think that's how it works. That's how it works for me anyway. Yeah. Thanks for the person who sent that in. Hopefully that helped. We're going to end the show with a track from How I Became a Wave. We copped onto these guys after seeing that a friend of ours, All Things Eve,
who featured on our Culture Night,
who did feature on our Culture Night, was supporting How I Became a Wave on tour in Ireland, and beautiful. So we want to share a track with you. This is a track, You Always Had a Way with Words, by How I Became a Wave. Leon, thanks for your time. See you in Wolves.
Always a pleasure, never a chore, Ryan, baby.
See you next week.
I'm not drinking warm beer.
You are? Yeah.
I have a pork pie though.
You only love me for the person that you wanted me to be. I think something's wrong. Maybe Bye.